Hi, it's Vera. I'm going to be talking about my 3D animation, The Dragon of the West. I had two things, a genre and an audio.
For voting!
I started off by doing some genre research. What makes a martial arts movie? Its acting, its themes, its cliches. I made observations. Lots of them. I needed a main character. And of course, every martial arts movie needs an origin story. So here's Ed Black, aka The Duke, named after David Bowie's The Thin White Duke. Born in the 60s, he's an underground fighter in an illegal gang. Total legend. Half Japanese on his dad's side, raised in London. I wanted a mix of Asian and Western cultures. Abusive dad pushed him too hard in training. Mom passed early. She was a cruel woman, but he remembers her very fondly. He rebelled in his teenage years. That's how this whole thing started. And here's the secret. He has a small dick. The subtext says it all. Moving on to setting. Remember the dad? Yeah. He died not long after Eddie ran away. He gets the house. The dojo in the basement where his dad used to train him is perfect. That's where we see him training Guy Geisen, the 17-year-old fighter he picked up off the streets. You can see where the inspiration is coming from. Mentor-student relationships are a must for karate movies. Then came the modeling. I knew I wanted something minimalistic yet communicative, something that tells a story. Japanese-style dojos usually have very little furniture and sleek design, rich browns and a muted palette, maybe some plants. A small room and no windows. This is the basement of a small London home. Just some tatami mats in the middle and 2 bamboo wood benches. Eddie was the type of person to customize everything, shaggy and sincere, but I didn't think he would have it in him to change anything in his dad's dojo. Respects him too much, probably hurts to even be in there. I added 2 large plants, shows how much time has passed. They've grown huge just like Eddie himself. I also made a custom texture for the walls to make them look old and worn out. It's not as noticeable as I'd like, but it's there. One notable struggle, the lights. We didn't cover much about it in class, and I didn't know how to make it so that the light was coming from inside the lamps. I improvised by adding 2 lights, one below and one above the lamps. I wanted to be able to see them reflecting from the traditional wooden ceiling I made. This is going to come back to haunt me later. Now comes the acting and the animation. I knew I wanted quick movements, dramatic gestures, resembling the acting I've seen in the movies. He's also British, so we need that sass in his tone reflecting in the way he moves. I struggled to adjust the timings of the movements for days, but I think I made it work. I wanted him to mimic the way his mother would speak, even when he's not actively quoting her. He uses his own past trauma to teach Guy how to always get back up, no matter how much he's pushed down. Guy also needed to look confused but calm. He's obviously aware that Ed is a weird guy, and he's used to it, so he doesn't pull back even when yanked, but is still caught off guard by how suddenly he burst into this. My feedback acknowledged how far behind I was in the animation, and trust me, I was, but that I had a good outline and that my references were on point. I also implemented many tips on the acting and the mannerisms of my main character. Although I have gotten better at it, if I had more time management, I'd also have liked to add a small fight scene, but sadly, as I am, that had to be scrapped. Overall, I'd say that my main problems were my lack of experience in Blender, my poor time management, and my avoidance of asking for help from peers. Partially made up for by my incessant research in Blender, fast workflow, and improvisation skills. Remember how I said the lights would come back to haunt me? Yeah, that happened when rendering. To this day, I have not figured out why, but the lights kept glitching every time I rendered, looking like God himself descended upon the dojo. I couldn't pinpoint the reason, even after days of struggle and the help of my friends, so I had to use a screen recording of the animation for my final compositing. I will hopefully fix that as soon as possible for my own peace of mind, but I am still happy with the final product. To wrap everything up, I really enjoy the work we've done in the past few months, on both the 3D and the graduation project. I feel like I've grown in many ways and definitely improved my time management and organizational skills, alongside technical knowledge. So thank you so much for listening.